Hello all and welcome to our new daily show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jia, coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming from YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a like, comment and share it with your friends, as well as hit the notification bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined today by a couple of my newsroom colleagues who will talk about what got you talking today. For our first story, firms are selling individuals' personal data for cash. At least half a dozen companies here are making money from dealing in others' data. That's full names, home addresses, and phone numbers. So here with me to discuss this is Straits Times journalist Calvin. Hi, Calvin. So could you tell us more about this cottage industry of companies who are selling people's personal data?
So basically, these are local companies that are making money from selling your data. So it includes your full names, your home addresses, your contact numbers. So they're actually extracting this info within days, and they can compile it without our knowledge. And the scary thing about it is, they're simply selling the data to anyone who's willing to pay. And that raises questions whether what they do is legal. But what's surprising though is that these firms are saying they are merely compiling data from public sources, so including your phone directories, your government portals. But of course, there are other ways that they're extracting your data. So for example, lucky draws or forms that you fill in. Yeah.
So how much are they selling this data for?
So a set of data on a person can be sold for several cents to a few dollars. So it's quite cheap. And the reason why they're so cheap is because the data is usually resold to many buyers.
Right.
So for example, one data broker mentioned that he's selling the full name and exact unit address of a condo occupant for $1 to $5, and it depends on how easily available the data is.
Right.
The details of landed property owners, they come around $5 a piece. So it depends on whether it's easily available. Yeah.
I see. But who out there is, interested in this? Who is buying this?
Yeah, so basically those who are in the sales line may find such data useful. So for example, your property agents, your
Right.
insurance agents. So for property agents, for example, data on properties that are put up for collective sale en bloc, it's quite popular because these owners, they're likely to buy a new property. So with the payout that they receive, they are looking around, they're shopping around for new properties. Yeah.
I see. So that actually sounds kind of scary. So how do you think the public can protect themselves?
Well, one way is to actually read the fine print on the forms that you fill in. For example, the lucky draws that you enter, the surveys that you go for. So these forms, usually they have terms and conditions. So it's crucial for us to read the terms and conditions, and most people do not read those terms and conditions, right? So I think that's something that we all have to pay attention to.
So do be alert when you have to give out your personal information for whatever reason. Thanks, Calvin, for sharing your thoughts. All right. Up next, local telco M1 has announced that it will replace its 19 existing mobile plans with one base plan each for SIM-only and handset bundles starting from Tuesday. That's May 28. With me to talk about this is our tech correspondent at the Straits Times, Ko Ping. She will be talking to us about the new M1 plans and how this affects us as well as M1. All right, welcome to the show, Ko Ping. All right, so could you summarize for us what these new plans are?
Basically, M1 has followed the footsteps of its bigger rivals, Singtel, StarHub, to come up with simpler plans. But this time around, they completely replaced their 19 existing plans with the two new ones.
Right.
It's a SIM-only, no contract plan, comes at $25, offering 30 gig of monthly data with 1,000 minutes of talk time and 1,000 SMS. Whereas its handset plan comes at $30 and it offers 12 gig of data and 100 minutes of talk time and 100 SMS.
So how does this compare to the other telcos?
So for Singtel, it has this plan called GOMO. It's priced at $20. It has 20 gig of data, 200 SMS and 200 minutes of talk
Right.
time. Whereas StarHub has this other plan called Giga, and it's $25 with 25 gig of data, 1,000 minutes of talk time, and 1,000 SMS.
So why did M1 introduce this change?
Generally, I think consumers on the market, they are very confused,
Right.
like you and I, confused with the many, many plans
Correct.
that the telcos offer and find it very hard to compare across different plans. So these no-frills plan seem to be also a response to the virtual mobile networks like Circles Live and 01,
Right.
because they have come into the market with this business model, which is no contracts, SIM only, and they don't have physical stores. So if you look at their promotional campaigns, these telcos, they use bright colors and also a lot of young people in their
Youthful.
promo, youthful, because they seem to be targeting the same group of people, which is the millennials, who want a lot of data, but they don't necessarily need a lot of talk time. So these three big telcos, they probably have an advantage over the virtual mobile networks because they are the incumbents.
Correct.
And their no-frills plans are actually also very attractively priced.
Right.
But
So-
comparing across all these SIM-only plans, no contract plans across the three big telcos, it seems like the M1 plan looks to be most value for money,
Wow.
and they have a lot of room for customization.
So for the M1 users out there, like me, how are they affected by this?
Yeah, so for those who are still on contract, I think they have to check with M1 on whether they are eligible to switch over to the new plans. And M1 says they can check on the M1 app or call them on their hotline.
So what about M1 themselves? Why have they chosen to do this?
So in my interview with the M1 CEO, he says this complete overhaul is aimed at putting the customers at the focus. So they say this is part of their aim to be more relevant to the customers and give more personalized offerings. I think it's really to give them an edge because they are kind of late to the party.
Right, yeah, it does seem that way. All right, thanks for clearing the change for us. Okay, so those were our top stories of the day. For more news and videos, do head on to www.straitstimes.com. Once again, this has been Kimberly Jiao. Thank you for watching The Big Story, and we'll see you tomorrow.